Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors, Burlee's Fancies. Fancy that, fancy this. Burlee's Fancy gift baskets that do impress. Go to burleesfancies.com for more info. And Farmers Insurance and the Carrie Whitlatch Agency. For all of your insurance needs, call 541-258-3995. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. We are here in the beautiful outdoors of the Pacific Northwest. Yes, I'm coming to you live from my backyard today. It's beautiful out here, and just so excited to be with you again. Thank you for joining us today. You know, wherever you are, we appreciate you so much. I appreciate you. If you can share this contact and let other people know that we're on today with the amazing Andrea Beem, who's going to be joining us shortly, having so much fun connecting and learning from amazing people who connect like Andrea. And before we get her in here to talk today, I just want to remind you that I'm Russ Hedge. I am an inspiration specialist, coach, and motivational speaker. People might ask, what does that mean exactly? Well, I tell you what that means. If you're lacking purpose, direction in your life and your business, I'm the man that can help you. I can help you line up what you're really all about, why you wake up in the morning, why you move forward, and help translate that into your business, moving purpose to profit in your life. So give me a shout today on any of my social media or connection resources. And the best way to get in touch with me is to go to russhedge.com. That's right. russhedge.com. It's that easy. On there, you'll find links to all my social media, my email, my phone number, whatever you need to get in touch with me. And I would love to chat with you today. And also, you can actually set time on my calendar and connect with me on Zoom directly. It'll send you a link and schedule time, and we can actually chat and get to know each other. So looking forward to that. Anyway, also just want to remind you, don't have it up here. Normally I have my book floating beside me, but don't forget I am the author of Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. And we all need to do that together here. So you ready? If you're watching, let's do this. Here we go. Befuddled, live the life you choose. Don't live your life befuddled. Don't live your life lacking direction. Learn to live the life you choose. No matter what happens to you in your life, no matter your circumstances, they do not determine who you are. They do not determine how you live or what you can do. You get to choose that. No matter what happens to you, you get to take that information and choose the life that you want to live. So pick that book up today on Amazon or all online booksellers. And if you're in the Pacific Northwest, you can even pick it up in local bookstores. So hopefully that will help encourage you. So that's enough about me. I am so excited this morning to bring in Andrea. We're going to bring her in and start chatting. Here we go. Good morning, Andrea.
Hey, Russ, how are you?
I'm excellent. Long time no see.
I know. It was so great to see your face yesterday. I haven't seen the real live Russ in so long.
Yes, it's it's wonderful to be live and in person. And even though it's wonderful to meet people and actually interact with people this way on Zoom or whatever platform that you're on, but it's so great to actually be live again. And I just want to give a couple shout outs this morning. This morning, Kenneth is such a great guy, always supporting, is here. He's a savor the flavor guy. So Andrea, if you don't know Kenneth, you're going to have to get in touch with him because he is a great guy. And commented about my backyard this morning. Thanks, Kenneth. Anyway, hey, I just wanted to thank you so much for joining us today. Really, I appreciate you so much and all that you're about and all that you're doing. You have such a positive attitude, always have a big smile. I appreciate that. But tell everybody a little bit about Andrea and about what you're up to.
Gosh, where to start? I feel like it's a little bit of everything. It seems like sometimes. Been doing real estate for the last 15 years, and we're always continuing to look to grow that company as well as get into some other realms as well. We've been writing a book for a while, taking a little longer than I anticipated. Isn't that always the case? And so we're working on getting that book rounded out this year and hopefully getting that to the market. So real estate and book writing and just loving life to the fullest.
Well, there you go. And I know that you also are an empowerment speaker, helping businesses and women just really stand out. Let's talk a little bit more about your book, because I love that you're writing a book, and you and I talked a little bit about that yesterday. Give us a little snapshot of what your book's going to be all about.
Yeah, so the book is called Dents in Your Armor, and it is all about a journey that I had. In life, we all get knocked down, and I got particularly, knocked down, and it was just kind of my journey kind of coming out of a really dark hole that I was in. And it took me a little longer than I anticipated. And it was a huge learning process. It was definitely something that I kept waking up each day thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to be out of my funk. And it didn't happen just like that. God had a different plan and, and had a few lessons I needed to learn along the way. So the whole book is it's not only my story, but it's also some of the things that I learned along the way and how I got out of that dark place.
Well, I think that the journey that we're on, God has us learning lessons every day, and, through the good and the bad. And I think that people really relate to that. And you're such just a wonderful, authentic person. And I think that getting your story out there, like you said, helps people where they're at and think, I'm kind of going through a similar situation. You're able to encourage them and lift them up. And I want to encourage you to get that book out there as soon as you can, because that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we keep talking about it, so it's out there. It's out there in the world, and talk about accountability. So now that means it's got to happen.
That's right. Well, now you've got another friend that's going to be saying, "Okay, here we go. Let's get that baby moving."
That's right. And counting on that, Russ.
There you go. Well, listen, I know that you have a wonderful, wonderful team. You're part of Keller Williams Mid Willamette, the Beem Team. Tell us a little bit about your real estate and all the stuff you're doing there, because you're so big in your community. You're a big part of your community, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, our team is growing left and right. We have amazing people on our team. Our tagline is from real estate to real life, because we're a real estate company, but at the core, we're dealing with people's lives, in some of the biggest parts of their lives, right? Like buying a house is the biggest purchase most people will make in their life. Selling a house, right? Sometimes they're investing in building wealth. Sometimes they're helping children, maybe get through college and have a place to live, or buying a vacation rental, you name it, right? Like these are huge components and milestones in everyone's life, and we get to be a part of that. So it's really kind of a cool experience that, in my opinion, I guess I feel like God has kind of put us in this role to be in people's lives, to help them with all kinds of stuff. It's not always real estate, right? Sometimes those conversations get to be real life, and that's, that's where I feel like a lot of the meat and potatoes, I guess you could say, comes from.
Right. Well, you're exactly right, because you said a true fact, that is a huge part of their life. That is probably the biggest purchase they're going to ever make. And it's also where they call home. It's where they're going to live, and you're helping them put that together. And, it takes the right kind of person. I think that's why super successful real estate brokers like you they do so well, because they care about people. And you'd really do. You care about people and what they're all about, and you're helping them find that forever home. And that makes a big, huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about just pouring into lives, right? When you ask about getting up each day and going to work, and why do you do that? Like, why do you get up at 5:00 in the morning? Like, why do you show up at the office every day? And, you and I were talking about that earlier, about just understanding what that, I hate to use the word mission statement, because I really don't feel like it's a mission statement as much as it's just, understanding that why, right? Like Simon Sinek, we were talking about him yesterday,
right?
One of the best people at kind of putting that picture into place, and understanding and learning how that all kind of works together. It's so much bigger than just selling real estate. I mean, real estate's a big deal, don't get me wrong, and it's bigger than that.
Yeah, well, it is a big deal. And, Simon Sinek, we talked about the quote where he talks about not living life on accident, but, living life on purpose, and really having a clear understanding of what you're all about. And if you don't, that's where challenges come in, because people are listening to other voices tell them who they are and what they're all about. And that's not what it is. We're not living someone else's life. We're living our life. Yeah. And me, I'm the big live the life you choose kind of guy. So that's what you and I are speaking the same language there. So you did some podcasting, live streaming, and also speaking. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to be speaking here in about a week or two down in Eugene at a young professionals workshop that they put on annually. And they didn't get to do it last year, but they're putting it on this year. So that's something I have coming up here real soon. And we're going to be talking about manufactured moments. So that's exciting. And then I've also done the Amazing You conference. We got to do that virtually last year. As the first time we went virtual. Normally it was an in-person convention. And this year we got to do it virtual and reach so many more people than we ever could have just in person. And it was just, that one, I was able to speak a little bit to that story about me coming out of that dark place. And
right.
So, the speaking for me has been almost has a healing component, I guess, to it, because it actually allows you to kind of work through when you're putting your topic together, it allows you to work through some of those things. And so it's been an unexpected healing component for me, that the speaking to people, man, if you walk away and one person comes up to you and says, hey, that tool really helped me, or I really got so much value out of, what you just shared, or I'm going through the same thing. And, those kinds of things are the thing that really, I think, touch my heart, because then that like what you went through was not for nothing, right? You have something to give back. And a lot of times when you've gone through those hard places, that's what allows you to give back. If you hadn't been through that, you wouldn't be able to bring the same value to the table. So
right. Yeah, it makes you really relatable. And I was able to hear part of your talk at the Amazing You conference. I was blessed to be just one of the small speakers there as well, and just do a little segment. And Bonnie is so great person that puts that together. Good friend. And you did amazing. And that was really cool, because it's a point where you actually look at some of the challenges we had with COVID and with all of that, but it turned into a huge positive, because through those technology and the resources, we were able to reach out and reach so many more people, virtually, because not everybody can be there in person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were so many things from COVID that happened. I know when we were talking yesterday, it was, there are so many blessings and things that occurred from COVID. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, oh, 2020, it was such a tough year. And it, I mean, in a lot of ways, has continued even into this year. And though, if you look at some of the things that occurred, it really also forced some things to occur that were really good that never would have occurred otherwise.
Right.
And that perspective is really interesting to me, in a lot of ways, actually, just because it really truly depends on how you look at and how you look at things. I had a great coach once tell me, we were talking about perspective, and we were looking at a beach ball, and he was holding this beach ball in his hand, and beach balls have those colored stripes on them. And he said, Andrea, what colors do you see? And I was like, well, I see red and I see white. And he was like, oh, that's interesting. He goes, well, I see blue and white. He goes, so which one of us is right? Because we're looking at the same ball.
Right.
And it was a really good analogy to wrap my head around. Gosh, we can all be looking at the same situation and see totally different things. And you can even move around in your situation and see something totally different. There was a story I had heard once about the military shooting off cannons, and they used to have, and I probably won't get the numbers exactly right, but it was something like they would have like 4 or 6 guys that were needed to shoot off a cannon. And over time it was asked, like, why do we need all these guys here to shoot off this one cannon? We really only need 2. And well, we've always done it that way. And that was, I think that was COVID for us, and for our business, and for me personally, was it forced us to look at things that we've done because we've always done them that way, and realize that maybe there was actually better ways that we could be doing this. And so sometimes those things that we think are not the greatest actually turn out to be the thing that pushes us into something so much better. We just got to open our eyes to see that.
I agree 100%. I mean, that because our hand was forced a little bit, like you said, in what we had to do as far as making changes to make things keep moving, I learned so much. And we were able to do so many things, expand and meet people all over the world, and do incredible things that never would have happened had it not been for those challenges. So you're right. I mean, it's just, all of life is like the school of life, right? You're learning daily on what's being thrown at you. And it depends how people look at it. Some people learn really well from that, and other people don't so much. Other people look at it as a negative. And I think that's unfortunate, because if you really look at it as a possibility or an opportunity to learn, it's amazing what you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Perspective, I think, is not always looked at as such a huge thing, but I think it can be an amazingly huge thing when you look at it, whether it's in your business or your personal life. Sometimes it just takes a shift in how you're looking at something to realize that, maybe something that you thought wasn't so good is actually something really, really great. So
yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And I love your perspective on life, and you're, like I said, you always have a big smile, and you're always hitting things head on with a positive approach. And I'm sure that your team loves that, because you have a great team that you work with at the Beem Team that is all kind of doing the same thing you are. They're all very positive, and you're a great reflection, or they're a reflection of you and the positive force that you put forward.
Yeah, I have been so blessed with my team, Russ. I have to say, like, everybody on my team is on fire, right? Like, they're on fire for life. They are just, I love, like, every once in a while, we even, my director of operations.
Oh, I think you muted yourself by accident.
Oh, I think there.
Okay. Yay, you're back.
But yeah, she actually started doing a Bible study, like within our group, within our team, that she was able to kind of put together once a week and do in the evenings after work. And, we've got just so many good things that we're able to do, even after hours outside of work with the community, and like furniture share, and through the chamber and through a lot of the nonprofits that are here locally, just watching them be as excited about it as they are, like that alone gets me motivated.
Yeah. Well, when I see them at community events, I'm able to interact with, and I already knew, I mean, people are joining your team that I knew from other areas, really positive people. And to see that their energy and their excitement about being part of that is incredible. I mean, I think that's a great thing. And you guys do, that's one thing about I think all of the good Keller Williams people that I know, but really good teams like yours are super active and involved in the community. And I just think that's such a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. There is definitely, you have to get through when you have so much chaos happening, especially in the real estate world, especially right now in the market that we're in, there is chaos that comes, and everything is not always perfect. And I struggled with that. Probably still do a lot of the time. When everything is not perfect, I really, I bang my head against a wall and just, like that is not the way I wanted that to happen. Or I wanted this to be better. And, you're always striving for something to be better than it was yesterday, right? Like I'm striving to be better than I was yesterday. And there are definitely those moments where we have to realize that it's okay when we stumble and fall sometimes. It's not, it's not the end of the line when we make a mistake. And we're not a perfect company by any means, though we do have that. You're always putting one foot in front of the other. You're always striving to be better. That growth-minded, that growth-mindedness of just that you're always working to make yourself a better person and to show up better for other people, right? Like that's pouring in lives is a huge part of what we do here. So yeah.
And you and I, we have to collaborate and do more stuff together, because I just love your attitude, and it is all about growing and being better, right? And like you said, being better so that we can be better, show up better for other people. And a lot of times people forget. I mean, there's been a big movement to self-care, and I think that's not a bad thing, because a lot of times people don't take care of themselves so they can care for others. They don't give to themselves so they can give to others. I had some really good advice about your business, and that is always to remember to make yourself your number one client. And even though that sounds like kind of selfish, it's not, because if you're not working and growing and really trying to fine tune yourself all the time, how can you really give and help other people? Because if you don't care about yourself, how can you really care about others, right? And I think it's a biblical principle that we need to take to heart and look at, because we want to be a blessing to others.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen. I couldn't have said that better myself.
That's right. Well, that was just like a God moment. Yeah, I would like to take credit for those, but I have to give him the credit for those. So
I love it. I love it. I mean, sometimes there's just those brilliant moments.
There you go. I know once in a while, even I have one of those. So
we definitely need to collaborate more, Russ. I totally second that motion.
Yeah. Well, that's so awesome. Well, I'm going to stay on you about that book, because I can't wait to read it. I'm going to get a copy as soon as it's fresh off the press. And so listen, tell everybody, we need to start wrapping things up, but tell everybody, how do they get in touch with Andrea? Because they're going to want to know more about you. They're going to want to know more about the Beem team. They're going to want to know how to get you to come speak. So let them know how to contact you.
There is a couple ways. So the easiest way is probably just through my cell phone. So it's 541-231-3109. So that's the easiest way. I would also say you can go to two different websites. If you want to go to our real estate website, it is midvalleyhomesource.com. And if you want to look at the speaking website, it is just my name, andreabeem.com.
Well, that's easy. Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Right. And I think you're also available like on LinkedIn and things like that as well. But but I will make sure and add those, the phone and the websites to the show notes, so people have those direct links, because I think that's important. Whatever is easiest for you to be able to communicate with them is important. Hey, before we jump off here, I want to say my good friend Usama's in the house, all the way from Cyprus in the Middle East. Cyprus, he is here joining us. And Usama, you're going to have to connect with Andrea, because she is awesome. He is a force today on LinkedIn and on all kinds of social medias, but he's doing great stuff. So want to give a big shout out to him. There's a few other comments going to throw up there. Kenneth, everybody's getting active here. And you guys are just so awesome. You know, the support that comes from the online community, like Andrea and I were talking about, is so important, because when everybody was all, locked up, we were able to still get out virtually. And, I want to encourage people, don't give up on that just because now we get back in person, which is good to a certain extent. Make sure you keep those connections in that community, because it makes us all better together every day when we're able to collaborate, work together, lift each other up. And I just appreciate everybody that takes time to watch. So, Andrea, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I'm going to send you out for just a moment, but hang tight, and then we will chat again in a second. Hey, everybody. I appreciate you, Usama, and everybody else listening today. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie, for just being willing to interact. The live platform allows us to interact and to be able to communicate. Even as I'm interviewing guests, you can make comments. You can come live. Please share this content. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube page, please subscribe. It will remind you. Also on Facebook and LinkedIn, you can hit the remind me buttons. It will remind you when the show is on, because I know it's hard. There's a lot of stuff out there. Your time is valuable, and it's really important that you use it wisely. And we hope this is encouragement and helpful to you. And I just appreciate everybody today. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wind things up for today. But listen, don't forget, every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, you can join us on Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. And until we see you again, have a great day and a great life. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.